And yeah, and I think like it's tough, but the consistency that comes with it really just like helps you to like see how much you grow. Over the past few years, it's been a lot to take in and learn. It takes a lot of hours, but also have a lot of great mentors around me too that I have had the pleasure of working with. Yeah, it's been an absolute ride, and it's definitely important.
What's up, y'all? I'm Kelly Clarkson.
Hey, it's Steve McRae.
Hey, I'm Josh from the band Need to Breathe.
I'm Olivia Luddy.
We are so excited to welcome to the Kelly Alexander Show, Akon. Hi.
What up, girls?
Hey, I'm Judy Gold.
And I'm hanging out with the Kelly Alexander Show.
This is Jordan, and I'm hanging out on the Kelly Alexander Show.
I'm Rob, and I'm hanging out on the Kelly Alexander Show.
I'm hanging out with the Kelly Alexander Show right now.
Jealous?
Hello.
We are so excited to welcome to the Kelly Alexander Show a Toronto-based DJ and producer, MARTA, who has released World of the Rave. MARTA has also been performing at festivals like Il Cynic in Montreal and has received support from DJs across the planet like Tiesto, DLMT, and West End. MARTA, welcome to the Kelly Alexander Show.
Thank you so much for having me. How's it going?
I am great. So we have a lot to talk about, including how you got started, because I'm always interested in finding an artist's origin story. So can you tell us, like, A, what music you were into as a kid, and B, who influenced you musically?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we're gonna take it all the way back to my roots. So I am a daughter of two Polish immigrants. So a lot of my musical taste comes from like Eurodance, which in its own way, like definitely influenced a lot of where I kind of, started my music career, the music I was grown up on. But really, just also the music from like the 90s, like you have Show Me Love and all the classics that everyone, kind of sings along to nowadays. And even people that are, like in my age or younger than me that know those classics, like that's kind of what inspired me. But growing up for sure, I think the first little bit in terms of an artist that really inspired me and started kind of my journey into dance music is definitely Dead Mouse. And obviously Ghosts and Stuff was the big break for me and just fell in love with that type of music since then. So yeah, ever since I would say like about like the age of 12, I would say. It's been going strong.
And I love this. And also, did you grow up playing any instruments?
So, growing up, I did do vocal lessons. So I was a vocalist for a little bit of my younger part of my journey when I was between the ages of 9 to 11. Now, I did want to originally become a singer growing up. Like that was my big thing. I wanted to become like a Rihanna or something. Obviously, didn't happen, but you never say never. Maybe we'll bring some vocals into it. Who knows? We'll get those vocal cords warmed back up. But yeah, I did that for a couple of years. Stopped just after the age of 11, and I did want to, kind of start really like learning piano, guitar, didn't really get into it too much, but did dabble in it a little bit. And then it just like fell off, but starting to get back into everything now and really fall in love with it altogether.
And so when did the idea come to you to be like, I want to DJ?
I think I've always kind of had the sense of when I wanted to like kind of become a DJ in general was going to see Avicii perform for the first time, and that was back in 2012, I believe. I think I was 16 or something like that, but it was my first big festival, and I was like blown away. I saw Avicii perform, and of course, like rest in peace, he was such an incredible musician, and just seeing like his love for the crowd, the energy, how connected everyone was. I think that might have been like a big turning point for me for sure. But that was just like an idea in the back of my head. I think really once COVID kind of struck, I was like, this is like probably my moment where I need to like really dive into it if I think that this could become something of it. And that's pretty much fun. So yeah.
Amazing. And so like, because I interviewed recently, well, it's probably a few months ago now, I interviewed Kayla Diamond, the producer.
Yeah.
And we talked about how like during pandemic, she threw herself into learning like platforms, like so she could record and all that kind of stuff. So is that what you did? Like how many hours a day were you spending on learning? Was it Serato? Like what platform are you like did you learn?
Yeah, so this for me, it still makes me like laugh because people ask me, I'm like, this is probably like the route you should not take as someone that's like starting out. Um, but I had some savings left over from a couple of jobs that I was working back to back before like everything closed up in the pandemic. And I decided to buy some old CDJs and a mixer off a friend of mine who was willing to give it to me for cheaper than what he would have sold it to someone else for because he knew that I really wanted to learn. So I bought the whole club setup.
Amazing.
I really didn't know what was going on for like the first like 5 months. I was like, it's not going anywhere. This is frustrating. I'm terrible at this. I should probably just resell this back to him. But I kept at it. Like I would come home from work, because I would still work in office during the pandemic. I would come home from work, 7 p.m., play around for a couple hours, really try to like attune my ears and like really learn, the phrasing, like the different sounds that work best together, you name it. So yeah, I feel like it took me at least a year and a bit, I would say, to like fully like understand what I wanted to like do with it.
That's amazing. And like were you I know you're on CDJs, but like were you is there like a program that you like using when you're is it Serato?
Yeah, so I use everything through Box. I really,
Okay.
yeah, I love it because you can just like analyze everything through there. And if you can have like, Serato's like closely linked to Pioneer, so you can do similar things with like a little small controller, which now, funny enough, I don't have the CDJs anymore. I now have a controller at home. So I will use like, that in tandem together. And yeah, so I use Box pretty much. Yeah.
That's amazing. Good for you. And like when you were like, figuring out the sounds that you were gonna use in the music, like obviously I know you said Dead Mouse is a huge inspiration. So was it all EDM like that, or were you using like because you obviously have an affinity for 90s house music. So were you like spinning CC Peniston and Crystal Waters?
No, so I freaking wish I did that. I just never got to the chance of like doing that. I did have some classic CDs though that had all those songs on it, which I would spin around. I'm like, this is great, but I want to like play kind of like, what's like new, what I'm like kind of, feeling really heavily right now. So it was really anything like between like kind of like techno, tech house, but whatever was really like peaking at that moment in 2020. But I still did mix in a little bit of those 90s hits on the
That's
club
awesome.
classics. Club
And
classics.
and you mentioned, I just wanted to get back to your family for a sec because you mentioned obviously you got some musical inspiration from the Fam Jam. What like are they supportive of you doing this?
Yeah, at first my mom was like, "This is insane. I literally wanted you to become a doctor." Which, well, we can always get into my university degree too, because it's funny. I don't know how we did nothing with it, but she did want me to go to medical school. And of course, when I told her I was going to start DJing and producing music, she's like, "You're insane." But now with like the progression and with like the fan base that's kind of growing and the different shows that I've been able to play and the venues, you name it, showing her those photos, she's become actually like very, very supportive of it and she's very happy for me. So it makes me very happy to know that.
Amazing. Now, so you went to university. Which one? And tell us what program you were in. Were you in med, like in pre-med or something?
And so I went to Wilfrid Laurier in Waterloo, and I ended up with a double degree in biology and psychology with a minor in chem as well. Just throw that in there. But yeah, the goal was to go pre-med route or nursing, but then the pandemic happened. I graduated right as soon as the pandemic hit as well. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was
Okay.
a big like career reshift mode.
That's okay though. Like you have to follow. I always tell people, it's important, like as you progress through life, that like when you look back, you have followed your heart rather than followed what people expect of you
Yeah.
or their projections on you of what they think you should do. Because like at the end, you want to make sure that you're happy. So
Yes, absolutely. And I think In essence, like although it was very, very horrible, the pandemic, of course, like it was such a hard time for a lot of folks and lots of lives were lost. I think like all in all, like for me, I've found kind of, where my drive needed to go essentially,
Mhm.
um, and essentially kind of refound myself. So very happy about it. I think it was a great time for me to revisit that notion.
Amazing. Joining us on the Kelly Alexander Show, DJ and producer Marta. Don't forget to follow her on social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram at Marta Official Music. Let us talk about you producing. So now, so you're spinning and now you're producing songs also. Like, so that's like a lot to take on in the last couple of years. So, uh, how did you start deciding? Like, I know a lot of DJs now, if you want to go to the next level, you have to produce your own tunes. So how did you quickly come to that conclusion or decide that like, yeah, I need to do this too?
Yeah, so I did kind of peek in that I needed to do it simultaneously while learning how to DJ. Same thing, I did it during the pandemic. I joined Axtone Academy, which was like I'm not sure if it's still like if it's still active right now, but it's an Axwell based academy where he has, lots of like tutorials and like just lots of good material that you can really learn from home. And I did that for a little while. That I ended up like stopping pretty much like after a couple of months because I was just not picking it up. I was getting frustrated and I was like, let me just like stick to one thing. But I would say about 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago is when I really dove into it. And I joined a couple more academies as of recently as well. I'm still a member of it. Kick and Bass, who is founded and created by West End. So just big shout out to West End. Thank you for creating such an incredible community around you. And yeah, and I think like it's tough, but the consistency that comes with it really just like helps you to like see how much you grow if you put in the amount of hours. And I think over the past few years, it's been a lot to take in and learn. It takes a lot of hours, but also have a lot of great mentors around me too that I have had the pleasure of working with, and have also co-produced with me on a couple of tracks as well. So yeah, it's been an absolute ride, and it's definitely important.
Amazing. Now, what would you or how would you describe your sound? And we're going to talk also about your track that's out, World of the Rave. So, but describe your sound first, and I guess like what platform you use to create your music on.
Yeah, Ableton. So I use Ableton Live 11, and yeah, one of the hardest, but again, one of the greatest platforms to use. If I was to describe my sound, I'm kind of going through a little bit of a shift now, I would say, and I'm really gearing up towards tech house mixed with indie dance, just really influenced by like Solomon and his music. That's pretty much like where I'm getting a lot of where my music is going for the future and some minimal house in there as well. So I just want to blend a fusion of those three genres and really just like elevate it and bring back some of those nostalgic sounds, like the different, acid basses and different synths that you can get from the 90s and 80s. Like just love it all.
So when you're on Ableton, like you have your controller and like your writing, like do you start with a drum beat all the time or like how are you doing that?
Yeah. Yeah, typically I'll start with, well, I used to start with drums. So I would write out some drums. I'd start with like a kick, get in there with a clap, the hats, get some snares in there, some percussion. It would really depend, but I found that to be a little bit more difficult. Now I've kind of rearranged it to starting with a kick and then going right into the bass. Just doing like different layers, figuring out the sub, doing like the mid bass layer, and then just really finding a groove because from there I can kind of like make an idea of, okay, what drums do I think fits with this now? Like, does this sound cohesive? Can this sound like full enough to the point where it's not overloaded or overcrowded with things, but just enough to make it groovy? But yeah, that's kind of my process. Sometimes it changes, but again, that's pretty much like how I kind of start out the songs right now, and I'm loving it. I feel like it's making me go faster, in terms of my progression
Mhm.
with the project. So yeah.
And are you having, because you don't have like a huge, I guess theory base is what I'm trying to say, like on guitar or like piano, Like, how are you creating the chord progressions and all that stuff? Like, is that
Yeah, yeah. So for me right now, there are a couple of ways you can do it in Ableton. You can have like some features where you can turn on like the key.
okay?
You can actually see the different chord progressions, but my ears are starting to kind of like figure out, this sounds like the correct key and I should be working it in this way. But typically that's how I do it. Otherwise, I do also do ha some co-production with a couple buddies of mine, they're really, really awesome. Shout out AJ and Spencer, some really good friends of mine. But yeah, they're really great, and they've been teaching me a little bit more about that. So
That's awesome. So talk to us about the new song, World of the Rave, and like where the idea came from and what you want people to take away from it.
yeah, so the new song "World of the Rave," out now, by the way, it just started off as a joke, pretty much. This sounds crazy to say, but I was talking back and forth with one of my managers, Jack, and I sent over a clip from the '90s. It was an interview clip that was posted on, I think, ABC News, pretty much just like warning parents who are watching at home about the dangers of the rave culture and like what it is and all the crazy nonsense about like them staying up till 6, 7 in the morning, can't be doing that type of thing. I was like, hey, what if I actually just like try to like resample this and do some manipulation on it, on the vocals itself, and see if we can make like a song out of it. And he was like, yeah, like, I mean, like that'd be pretty funny. Like, why don't you do it? And I did, but it ended up liking it so much that it stuck to the point where I'm like, I actually think I need to like finish it. And it ended up being the fastest song that I've made and finished to date. So I'm very, very happy and proud to say that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And did you have to get special clearance to have the clip?
Yes, we did clear it. It was a resample, which is
Yeah.
fantastic. So we were able to clear that. It took some time on our end, but we're really glad with it. And yeah, we got really
Awesome.
great. Yeah.
And what was it like to release the track? Like, would you consider this your first big release, or like I know you've had others, but like,
Yeah. I think for me it was nice to kind of come out with a song just because I've been on a little bit of a hiatus since last year. My last release was back in November, but my songs were like a little bit more on the melodic side, and I knew I wanted to kind of restructure my sounds to be a little bit darker, a little bit more on like the grungier rave portion of music, really, when it comes to dance music, especially. So for me to like come back with this one, it was great because people were waiting. They were like, what's she doing? Like, are you gonna release music? Like, we're waiting for you to release music. When's this happening? So it's been great. I mean, lots of support so far. I'm really happy with the outcome. Got my first couple of editorials, so that's a really big bonus and win for me as well. So yeah, I mean, it's great to finally have put something out, and I'm gonna continue pushing music every single month, hopefully. So
and what's it like to get kind of like some cosigns? Because like we mentioned, like Tiesto supported you and DLMT, West End, like the list goes on. Like, what does that like feel like to know they're spinning your tunes?
yeah, definitely like freakish in a way. I almost like can't believe my eyes, if that makes sense. I think the first one was the All I Need track that I put out last year. I saw a video of Tiesto spinning it out on New Year's Eve, and I was like, "Are you sure this like someone didn't add this to the video? There's no way that's my song being played right now." And we were freaking out, like me and my boyfriend. We were just jumping around an entire condo for like 20 minutes celebrating. It's such a crazy feeling because there's so many artists in the world, and I think like the biggest thing that people want is to be recognized, especially for like efforts and like music that you create that comes from your brain. And yeah, it's just such a crazy feeling, but I'm so grateful for it, and hopefully more on the way.
And what was it like for you? Because I recently got to meet you in person when you came to Montreal for Ilsenic. And so tell us what it was like to play Ilsenic and how you got the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did play a couple of festivals back last year. And I think there were some like inbound leads that came in, kind of just like being like, hey, we saw Marta. She played a few festivals. We'd love to have her, come and open up the festival. And of course, that was a bucket list festival for me. I've never been to LA Sonic before, and that's always been somewhere that I've wanted to go, just even as an attendee. So even just getting the opportunity to kind of be booked for the festival and open up the festival was just crazy in itself. And I feel very, very happy to, mark that off for myself and just say I'm super proud of myself for getting the opportunity and for being like recognized too, and even just like being a female as well. It's really tough, and it makes it all the worthwhile to do so. So yeah, it was fantastic. It was great, such a great
And,
festival.
and what's next for you, like in the next 6 months to a year? Like, do you have specific? Because I know like your management team is super on the ball. I've said that to you. I've said that to them.
Yeah,
So it seems like I feel like you guys are plotting to take over the planet. So is that what's
yeah.
happening?
Hopefully, we're gonna start with North America first.
Okay.
But for the next few months, we have a couple of festivals, and I'm going on tour with Nostalgics, a fellow lovely Canadian female artist. I'm really excited about that. That's happening later in November. Doing a festival out in Halifax, which is going to be fantastic as well. I've never played in Halifax, so it's going to be very fun to play. Really looking forward to that. But other than that, more music on the way. We got a couple more coming in the next couple of months. So just going to continue the ball rolling and just keep on plotting. Just-
Amazing. Now, I like to do this thing where we do fast facts so that people who don't know you can learn a little bit more about you. So, first of all, what would you say is the artist or producer that you would love to hang out with for like a night and pick their brain?
Solomon, 100%.
Okay.
Solomon.
That's it. Would you like to have dinner with Deadmau5 though? Would that like
Yes, yes. I've met him in person. He's actually such a bomb and hilarious person.
good? Okay, perfect. Um, When you are listening to the radio, because I hope you do listen to the radio, is there like a pop song or an EDM song that like in the last 6 months to a year that you wish you had written? And especially because you said your stuff is melodic, I'm assuming you do listen to pop music at some point. So is there like a song that you wish like you could have like or remix a pop song?
I would say like a pop song or EDM song, definitely "Girls" by Dom Dalla because it's for the girls.
Okay, perfect, amazing. Also, what is your screensaver?
Some weird like metallic thing. I don't know.
That's great. Okay,
Love it. I
cool.
just really love silver.
That's perfect. Is there an actual errand or household chore that you like to do that brings you like zen kind of?
Does cooking count?
Yeah, that's great.
Love
Yeah.
cooking.
What's
I'm
your
a big,
dish? Like I'm sure you have many dishes, but do you have like a dish?
I go full pasta like almost every single day. It's actually we're gonna go with chicken noodle soup. I make it from scratch, so it's delicious. There we go.
There, you win. That's good. Awesome. Now, is there a television show from like your adolescence or early 20s that you wish would be rebooted?
Oh my gosh. God, I feel like this rebooted.
Yeah. Or is it still running? Is there a show that like that you would that like because like SVU is like year 27. So like I don't know if that's like a show
You know what? I'm gonna go with Game of Thrones, honestly.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Amazing.
Do the whole thing.
Um, is there a because you're, like influenced by 90s stuff,
Mhm.
what 90s vocalist or
Mhm.
which 90s vocalist would you love to sing on one of your tracks?
Um, I would say, Show Me Love, Robin.
Robin
Yes?
S. Or
Robin.
Robin, regular Robin or Robin S?
Robin S. Robin S.
Okay, cool. Amazing. And do you have a favorite board game of all time?
Ooh. I think I would say, does Connect Four count?
Yeah, I think so. That's cool. That's good. That's good.
Okay.
Also, if you could be in a group chat
Mhm.
with any girl group or boy group from the 90s or into the early 2000s, because that's when they were at their peak, like
Yeah.
who would you like to be in a group chat with?
Everyone from Friends.
Okay,
Almost all of them.
that's amazing. Awesome. And for your Montreal fans, what message would you have for them?
I would say don't tell anyone in Toronto this, but you guys are the best city in the entire country. I love you all.
Amazing. We won't tell Torontonians. Okay. And for someone who doesn't know you yet, what do you want them to know about MARTA?
I want you guys to know that I'm very easy to talk to. Sometimes I can come off like very shy, but just make me laugh and I'll open up immediately.
Amazing. Very good. Thank you so much for doing this. You're always welcome back and continued success.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
That is MARTA, again, a Toronto-based DJ and producer. Don't forget to check out her latest release, World of the Rave, and of course, follow her on TikTok and Instagram at MARTA Official Music.
Hey, it's Kelly Alexander, and thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Kelly Alexander Show, so you are the first in line for all the cool content coming your way.